There, Miss McCurdy here. I just want to hop on and make a quick video to help some of you with the new math program that we are working with so that you can support your students at home. I know there's been a lot of confusion about what we're doing now. So ALA was teaching Saxon for most of the time that I've taught here. We've always taught Saxon, and we've recently switched over to a new math program called Eureka. Eureka is great, but it is a whole new way of teaching, a whole way of learning, and it really calls for students to have an understanding of how to do certain skills. And so right now, you will see that their homework is adding single-digit numbers with double-digit numbers. And we're not necessarily trying to teach them how to add those numbers. What we're trying to teach are two things: place value and number bonds. Now, a number bond is a group of numbers. We've known them in the past as fact families. And we're trying to teach students how do number bonds work, how to put them together. So I'm going to give you an example of that right now. We're also trying to teach them how to make a 10 or how to round up. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to teach you how to make a 10 and how to make a number bond. That is the first step in how to solve these problems. So this is actually F on your homework today, letter F on your homework. So what we do is we start with our big number. We want to create 48 into a 10. We want 48 to turn into a 10. And in order to do that, we need to borrow. So to do that, we need to borrow from our neighbor number. So this is where our number bonds come in handy. So 48, to become 50, to make it into a 10, we need to add how many? 2, right? So 48, 49, 50. So we're going to borrow 2 from 6 to make 50. There we go, 2. Now, if I have 6 and I'm borrowing 2, how many is left? 4. So now we have created a number bond. This is a number bond. That means 2 plus 4 equals 6, 4 plus 2 equals 6, 6 subtract 2 equals 4, and 6 subtract 4 equals 2. That's a number bond or a fact family. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cancel them out. We know that 48 plus 2 equals what? 50. We've made our 10. Then we know that 50 plus 4 equals 54. So that would solve our whole problem. 48 plus 6 equals 54. Like I said, we're not trying to teach them how to solve this. We're teaching them how to create a 10, place value, and number bonds, fact families. So that's why we're doing it this way. Now, in the past, we've been familiar with using base 10 blocks to draw things out. So if I was going to draw 48, I would draw, oh, made a mistake. If I were going to draw 48, I would draw 4 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8 ones like this. And then I would add it by putting 6 ones next to it. Now, I actually love the way Eureka has taught this. It's just going to take some time for students to get used to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at just our problem. And I'm going to do a different color so that you guys can see. We're going to take a look at our 48. Okay? Now, how many 10s are in 48, class? So all my students at home, if you're watching, parents too, there are 4 10s, meaning there are 40 10s and 8 ones. Sorry, not 40 10s. 4 10s and 8 ones. So if we were going to break this apart, it'd be 40 plus 8. Too much information, I know. Anyways, moving on. So the way we do this is we're going to start with our 10s. So we're going to do 4 straight lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's showing us 40. Now, your big number is always going to be your circles, and your small number is going to be your X's. And you'll see why. So when I'm breaking apart 48, I have my 4 10s. I'm going to count with my 8s. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We always take a break because each group of 5 is easier to count than counting them individually. So we want to make this into a 5. Let's make another 5. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, we only had 8 ones. So we still want to make a 5 though. So let's borrow from our 6 to make another 5. So how many can we borrow from 6 to make 5? We need 2. So we're going to do 2 x's. 1, 2. So now we have 5 and 5, but we've used 2 from our 6, so we have 4 left over. So we're going to bring them down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what this is showing is that we have 40 plus, we now have created 110, so we can X that out, plus 10 plus 4. So if we break that up, we get 40 plus 10 is 50 plus 4 equals 54. Okay, so I know this is confusing. Let's try one more. Let's see if I can erase this without it smearing. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and try number H. Let's try H. That looks like a harder one. So we have 78 plus 8 equals. So let's break apart our 78. Let's make it into a 10. So 78, how many do we need to borrow from 8 to create 78 into 80? We need 2, right? So we're going to borrow from our 8, 2. And when I borrow from my 8, we have 8. We're going to take away 2. How many is left? 6. So now we have 2 and 6. Again, we just created a number bond. So we know that 78 and 2, 78 plus 2 equals 80. And 80 plus our leftover number of 6 is equal to 86. Okay? So your answer to this problem is 86. Now if we were going to draw it out, we have how many tens? We have 7. So we're going to draw 7 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to stop there, and we're going to make another set because we want them in groups of 5, so those are easier to count. 5, 6, 7. Okay? Now, let's use our 8s. We're going to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a space. 6, 7, 8. Well, we already knew that we borrowed 2, so we're going to do 1, 2, and our leftover 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip, 6. So if you were to count this, we know that this whole row is a 10 now. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 tens, so that's 80. And then we have 5, 6, plus 5, plus 1, which equals, I don't know if you guys can see this with the light, 80 plus 6 equals 86. Okay? So that's why we use these to draw them out. We're not necessarily using them to solve. We're just trying to visualize the numbers, and we're trying to make them into what we used to use as 10 blocks. So in the past, 100 was a square. Our 10s were columns. So all that we're changing is that we're changing these 10s into long sticks, and we're changing our 1s into, we're trying to make them into 10s. So we're using circles, and then our X's are our excess of what's left over. If you have any questions, please let me know. I know that was kind of a quick run through. I hope to start sending some more Eureka videos. We have videos of teachers teaching it that students can follow along if they're confused. And then I will obviously still be teaching and enforcing it at school. We will not be testing on anything. We have been doing pop quizzes just to see where students are at, and so that we can be better teachers to self-correct ourselves to better support our students. So I hope that you're having a wonderful evening, and I hope that this helps you a little bit. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow.